Welcome to Rock Club's record album review of the Church Starfish. My name is Kevin Z, and I'm a lifelong musician and a music fan. I'd like to think I've gained some musical wisdom over my 50 years of listening to, performing, and studying music from among my favorite artists. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my Rock Club channel, as I intend to review another monumental album each week. I grew up with classic rock bands like Led Zeppelin, Boston, and Kiss, and I watched as new wave bands like Duran Duran hit big on MTV and television shows like Friday Night Videos. I witnessed the evolution of 80s alternative rock and hair metal and the rise of grunge. I'll give you my perspective on epic rock albums spanning across these years. I hope I can pass some of this knowledge along to my daughters, Sky and Ava, whose playlists include tunes from my first generation iPod here and my record album collection. Another inspiration has been folks from work, young folks who heard my playlist songs for the very first time and commented how today's music had changed so much and how Generation Z can benefit from my knowledge of these great artists and bands. I'm reviewing artists' albums in their formatted order as they were originally intended to be listened to. So keep in mind, these are my opinions, so feel free to comment, agree, or disagree. So let's begin. I'm a true believer that really good music can help get you through hard times. I've got real life experience to prove this point. Flashback to Maple Plain, Minnesota, during the record-breaking heat wave summer of 1988. I was living back home at my parents' house after my freshman year of college and was in quite a predicament. I had just had my wisdom teeth removed a few days earlier, all four by the way. And during my summer lawn mowing job on Lake Minnetonka, I had inadvertently weed whipped an entire patch of poison ivy near the beach. Being allergic to poison ivy, the rash spread very quickly from my legs up throughout my entire body. Add to the misery that my parents' air conditioning unit actually went out and the temperature outside was over 100 degrees. You can't make this shit up. This really happened. My soon-to-be ex-girlfriend showed up trying to cheer me up, and she told me, "Geez, you look rough." You think? I'm laying there on my waterbed with no sheets, pink calamine lotion lathered all over my body, a fan blowing, yet still I'm sweating profusely. 4 holes in my mouth. I was in absolute misery. Thankfully, I had just purchased the Church's album, Starfish. I listened to it over and over, and it saved me. Released February 16th, 1988, Starfish was the Church's 5th studio album and the one that finally broke them in the US with their hit single, Under a Milky Way. The album was recorded in Los Angeles, bringing the quartet over from the land down under, Australia, at the request of the band's management. The songs are pure genius with brilliant lyrics by lead singer and bassist Steve Kilbey, shimmering strings and warm tones by the dueling guitar masters Marty Willson-Piper and Peter Kops, and the dynamic drumming of Richard Blue. Steve Kilbey has been quoted as saying the band focused on a more stripped-down, guitar-driven sound, way less keyboards than on previous albums, and the reoccurring theme of travel when the band wrote the songs for this phenomenal album. Track 1, Destination. The album opens mysteriously with Marty Willson-Piper plucking his Rickenbacker and Peter Kops adding searing fills as the drums and bass build. Steve Kilbey's vocals are doubled, singing an octave apart for intense effect. His voice is smooth as silk. While listening, try not to become hypnotized to this opening track. Great dynamics on this song, as at times it breaks down to just Marty on guitar using volume swells and Steve's voice. Fantastic start to the album. Track 2, side 1, Under the Milky Way, was the first single released off the album and the anthem to the summer of 1988. A dreamy song that has you staring up into the stars, asking, wish I knew what you were looking for. Might have known what you would find. Steve wrote the song with a writing partner, Karen Jansen, and presented it to the band. The drummer, Richard Plug, knew it would be a hit, but couldn't get the right feel, so a session drummer was brought in. The solo is actually a bagpipe that is played backwards, so they flipped the tape and played it backwards. It's very creative for sure, and indeed it works. To this day, Under the Milky Way is the band's most famous and most requested song. Track 3, side 1, Blood Money, has the dueling guitarists Willson-Piper and Kops working their magic once again. They are able to weave their melodies together in majestic tapestry. Steve Kilbey is not only cool on the microphone, but an underrated bass player as well. The outro slows down as it fades away into the distance. Track 4, side 1, Lost, slows the tempo down a bit and pulls you in at the same time. Kilbey creates vivid imagery with his lyrics. The pursuit of adulation is your butter and your bread. It's an exquisite corpse and its lips are red and its teeth are glistening. Love the tones on both guitars. An absolutely mesmerizing song. Last song on side 1, North, South, East, and West, has all 3 guitar players going in a different direction, hence the name of the song, but still somehow sounding together, if that makes any sense. It's a complex song, complete with a nice bridge section and a thundering drum solo by Richard Plug thrown in for good measure. Side 2 opens with the track Spark. It's a high-energy song sung by guitarist Marty Willson-Piper. His voice is more urgent than Kilbey's, and it suits this song well. He's also the most animated of the 4 band members, seeing them live the many times that I have. After discovering the Church Starfish album, I took a deep dive into the band's 4 previous albums and also solo albums by both Steve Kilbey and Marty Willson-Piper. I must admit, I enjoyed Marty Willson-Piper's solo material immensely. He's also a very wise man and a music historian, I might add. Track 2, side 2, Antenna, is a 6/8 tempo that really breathes. Plug's drumming is up front and huge in the mix, and there's a great outro guitar solo by Peter Kops. Track 3, side 2, Reptile. It was the second single off the album, and it's a fan favorite and a live concert staple. Fantastic opening guitar riff from none other than Marty Willson-Piper. Here we have Steve Kilbey comparing his one-time love interest to a reptile with great use of metaphor. Go now, you've been set free. Another month or so you'll be poisoning me with your lovely smile. I see you slither away with your skin and your scales, your flickering tongue and your rattling tail, like a real reptile. This tune is an all-out jam with both guitarists wailing in the awesome outro. Track 4, side 2, A New Season, features Peter Kops singing lead vocals, trading lines at times with Steve Kilbey and providing cool harmonies. Some really nice slide guitar work on this tune and another guitar-driven triumph. The last song on the album is Hotel Room. It's a real treat. Opening with a quiet, haunting guitar, the tune crescendos into Steve singing a story of having a psychedelic adventure with a woman he was rumored to have been on a peyote trip with. In Marty Willson-Piper's own words, quote, "Is this song about awakening from a dream and returning to your bed in the company of the character of your night's adventure? A stirring instrumental section builds into a frantic solo from me, always a high point live," unquote. With its fantastic lyrical imagery and beautiful guitar work, it makes this, in my honest opinion, the best song off the album. The Church Starfish is an incredible album that not only led me to worship at the band's altar, but it also helped me get through a very tough time in my life. Maybe, just maybe, if you haven't listened to it yet or want to revisit the album, it can do the same for you. Thanks again for tuning in, and look for more Rokk Club record album reviews in the near future. Peace.